As Karisma Kapoor enters the legacy battle, she is the legal guardian of her kids who have moved the Delhi High Court today. Everything you need to know about this, we are going to tell you on this show this evening. Also, the top story we're tracking is from Nepal. After Nepal burned for 48 hours, we'll tell you what's happening in the aftermath and who could be the next leader, at least the interim leader of Nepal as it goes the Bangladesh way. Story number 3 on 6 Stories at 6, viewers, is the violence in Mandya of Karnataka. Hindus have displayed unity. It's been a show of strength today in Mandya. We'll get you a ground report. Story number 4 on 6 Stories at 6 tonight is the violence that has rocked Paris. It's not just Nepal, viewers. Even in Paris, there has been protests. It's called the Block Everything protest. And finally, we give you a lowdown of what to expect from the Election Commission as it is mulling a nationwide SIR, the voter survey, viewers. It's in the works. There is planning going on, and there is going to be a meeting on that. So we start with the legacy battle, viewers. Also, not to forget the big story, one of the top stories: truce after threats. Donald Trump has once again reached out to India, and the Prime Minister of India has reciprocated. So we start without wasting any time. What's the latest in the legacy battle? It's a 30,000 crore rupee legacy battle, viewers, and we will be giving you a lowdown of what the exclusive inputs we have. But we start with Nepal. I'm told we are getting in more and more updates as far as Nepal is concerned. Now, what has happened is that, viewers, a new interim chief, an interim chief of the government is going to be selected. Rather, there's a political consensus that has been reached. It could be the former Chief Justice of Nepal, Justice Karki, who could be leading the government. And viewers, meanwhile, we'll show you what's happening in the aftermath as army troops have panned out across Kathmandu and other major cities of Nepal, enforcing restrictions and restoring calm just a day after the violent anti-government protests gripped Nepal, and that prompted KP Sharma Oli to resign as the Prime Minister. We also spoke to the Nepalese Army's spokesperson as well. Here's all that you need to know.
Nepal, a nation in turmoil. But today, there's a calm after the chaos. In just 2 days, a Prime Minister forced out. Parliament, Supreme Court and Presidential Palace burned to ash. The army marching in to seize control.
General Basnet, first I wanted to ask you, what is the current situation like right now in Kathmandu with the army taking over?
This is not the army taking over. The army is trying to normalize the situation based on the constitution of Nepal. And basically, the situation now in Kathmandu is under control.
Okay. Any more violence that has been?
Yeah. No. Very, very small time incident is happening. That's the we call it the small incident is happening, but the Nepali Army and the Armed Security Organization, we are controlling the situation.
The message is quite clear. Anyone daring to create fear or chaos will be crushed with force.
Today, Nepal Army is guarding our schedule today between the representatives of the scattered Genji community and also between other players of Nepali politics, the past and present and future, and civil society members will be convened by the President, Nepali Army, and the President who has taken charge now. President's rule remains in place.
And meanwhile, away from the capital city of Kathmandu, hundreds of inmates broke free from 2 prisons in Nepal. Several murder accused, bomb blast convicts are on the run.
ये नेपाल के महोत्तरी जिला में आता है जलेश्वर जेल। इसी जेल से कल 576 कैदी भागे थे। 576 कैदी, ये कारागार कार्यालय महोत्तरी जलेश्वर यही जेल है जहां पर कल चूंकि नेपाल में स्थिति ऐसी है कि अराजक स्थिति है और लगातार जो सरकारी कार्यालय हैं, सरकारी भवन हैं, उन्हें निशाना बनाया जा रहा है। तो ये महोत्तरी जिला अदालत भी यहाँ पर है और ये जेल जहाँ से कैदी भागे थे। नेपाल कारागार जो कि ये जलेश्वर बहुत पुराना जेल है, ये माना जाता है बहुत पुराना, और इस जेल से 1-2 नहीं करीब 576 कैदी, और बताया जा रहा है कि सिर्फ एक कैदी रह गया। पीछे पुरानी जो बिल्डिंग है उसी बिल्डिंग में कैदी रहते थे और एक भी कैदी अब इस जेल में नहीं बचे हैं।
Questions are now being raised about the possible foreign interference in fueling the unrest.
युवाओं में फ्रस्ट्रेशन बढ़ता चला गया ताकि युवाओं को कोई प्रवेश नहीं दे रहे थे, यही एक बात है। पर जब भी कोई आंदोलन हो जाता है असामाजिक तत्व उसमें घुस जाते हैं और लगता भी है इसमें कोई और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय षड्यंत्र भी हो सकता है।
India is cautious too. Borders have been sealed. India has declared a round-the-clock vigilance in UP and Bihar that share a border with Nepal.
ये अभी देख सकते हैं आप कि भारी संख्या में जो यूपी की जो सिक्योरिटी फोर्स है वो बाउंड्री पर लगी हुई है और जो लोग हैं काफी संख्या में, सैकड़ों की संख्या में जो ड्राइवर है बड़ी बड़ी गाड़ियां लेकर आए हैं, वो उनकी गाड़ियां अंदर नेपाल में फंसी हुई हैं। इनका कहना है कि इनके गाड़ियों को कुछ हो सकता है। किस तरह का डर है भाई साहब आपको?
ये सर सारे बॉर्डरों पे गाड़ी इंडिया को भेज दी है। एक बॉर्डर ये ऐसा है, एक बॉर्डर ये नहीं जान दे रही है गाड़ी पास खाली सर।
रुपए आप लोग?
हम लोग आज 5-5 दिन से फंसे हुए सर।
5-5 10-10 दिन हो गया। जी मैं ये
डर भी लग रहा है कि गाड़ी?
हाँ जी सर,
दिक्कत हो रही है।
हाँ जी,
बहुत ज्यादा डर भी लग रहा है।
डर लग रहा है। हाँ, हमको वापसी भेजो।
क्या चाहते हैं आप?
सर हम चाहते हैं इंडिया जाते हैं, हम इंडिया वापसी जाते हैं।
A temporary calm may have returned in Nepal, but this calm is under the curfew and Nepal's future remains uncertain.
And now the big inheritance battle over the estate of late industrialist Sunjay Kapur has taken a significant turn as the Delhi High Court intervened in the ongoing family feud. The case revolves around the alleged suppression of a will and the rightful distribution of Sunjay Kapur's estimated 30,000 crore rupee estate. In fact, it's Sunjay Kapur and Karisma Kapoor's son and daughter, the kids who have moved the Delhi High Court, and after which there are more sensational details that have been revealed. In fact, Republic TV has also accessed the chats between the kids, Sunjay Kapur and Karisma Kapoor as well. Here's a report.
30,000 crore property battle. Primary beneficiary, current wife Priya Sachdev and her children. First comes the mother, then the sister, and now the ex-wife come actor Karisma Kapoor, who has entered the biggest property battle. In the center of the high voltage property battle among the family member of businessman Sunjay Kapur is a will. As per the suit filed on behalf of the children of Karisma, the will is fabricated and suspicious. The lawsuit alleges a conspiracy. It says that misleading claims have been made about the will's existence and improper corporate appointments were made after the death of businessman Sunjay Kapur. Karishma's children are now demanding their share in the 30,000 crore estate, besides a transparent asset disclosure on oath. The lawsuit demands that the said will be declared invalid, and until then, the asset transfer will be prohibited. Sanjay's sister Mandya Kapoor backs Karisma and calls this absolute shocker.
Suit will be registered now, and they have to make certain discoveries about the assets, personal assets of Mr. Sunjay Kapur, and the matter is now fixed for 9th October.
The 30,000 crore property battle is getting bigger, dirtier, and is now out in the open.
I think the biggest question on this will is, knowing my brother's relationship with his children and the love he had for his two kids, it's a shocker for anybody who knows them. For my brother to have given everything to one person and not included his children. There's nothing normal about this. There's nothing in his character that would do this. So yes, it is something we are going to question.
The question also arises, is there really a will? Who is the legal heir of Sunjay Kapur?
Now, 3 days ago, viewers, communal clashes had erupted in Karnataka's Mandya. Stones were pelted on the Ganpati procession, leading to massive violence. There was unrest in Mandya. And today, viewers, the Hindu outfits organized a mega Ganesh procession this Wednesday. Watch this report to understand how there was a show of strength, a display of unity by the Hindu leaders.
A massive show of strength in Karnataka. 3 days after stones were pelted at the Ganesh idol in Mandya, Hindu activists took to the streets, uniting against the violence. On Sunday, Ganpati Visarjan was marred by violence in Karnataka. As Ganesh idol atop a red tractor passed through a mosque in Ram Rahim Nagar, devotees dancing all around, situation turned volatile. Miscreants pelted stones at Ganpati procession. In retaliation, another group threw stones at the mosque, triggering a clash. 8 people were injured in the incident. Case was registered and 21 people were arrested. And now, 3 days later, Ganesh idol immersion procession was done under tight police security. BJP is not satisfied with the probe and demands Gunda Act to be invoked against those arrested.
After Siddaramaiah coming the government in Karnataka, everywhere, not in here, all over Karnataka happening this stone throwing on Ganpati festival. So I think this is a pre-plan, 100% in Madhur incident is a pre-plan. We demand the government proper investigation and act to Gunda Act on who thrown the stones on the temple issue.
BJP has hit out at the ruling Congress government in Karnataka for playing the vote bank politics.
Procession is happening across the world, across the country, in each lanes, by lanes, everywhere the Ganesha procession has been taking place. What instigated these people to throw the stones? What was the police doing? What kind of preventive measures they had taken? Even the people in procession, Ganesha procession, they cooperated, they had stood off the DJ. Whatever the police gave instruction, they did everything. That mosque itself is illegal. That is what I have been told. There is no permission for this construction, though it was objected. There was no permission for the construction. They have demolished 3 Karnataka flagpoles. Since the Congress government has failed to act, it is sleeping.
Mandya stands scarred where the festival of faith has been turned into a battlefield of hate.
Viewers, France is now facing some mounting protests, heated up protests in Paris, viewers, and pressure mounts on the French President Emmanuel Macron. A grassroots movement calling itself Block Everything has brought the country, at least Paris, to a standstill. Transport, roads, services, nothing is off limits as anger over the austerity boils onto the streets. Here's a report.
While on one hand, the streets of Nepal were marred by violent uprisings, one of the most intense public backlashes the country has seen in recent years. On the other, similar scenes are unfolding in France, where the Block Everything movement has brought the country to a grinding halt. Trains halted, roads blocked, Airports disrupted. Across France, protesters have followed through their promise to block everything, leaving thousands of travelers stranded. Authorities confirmed that more than 200 people were arrested during the first hours of the unrest, as thousands poured onto the streets under the banner of Block Everything movement. At the center of the anger is former Prime Minister François Bayrou's austerity plan. It aimed to slash 44 billion euros through pension freezes, health cuts, and even scrapping national holidays. The backlash forced Bayrou to resign just yesterday after only 9 months in office, making him the third French Prime Minister to step down within a year.
Je pense qu'il y a beaucoup de lassitude partagée, beaucoup de frustration, le fait que les choses n'avancent pas, qu'on reste bloqué depuis un moment, et du coup ce qui explique en partie ces blocages et ce mécontentement généralisé, quoi.
As trains are halted, roads are blocked and services are disrupted. France faces one of its most disruptive strike days in recent memory, driven by the anger that has now outlasted the government that triggered it.
And viewers, the key talks are underway between the Election Commission and the state officials to finalize preparations for rolling out the special intensive revision of the electoral rolls nationwide. Yes, there's going to be a pan-India rollout of the SIR. The Commission has said that after Bihar, the SIR will be carried out in the entire country. And there are indications that the exercise would commence later this year ahead of the assembly elections in Assam, in Kerala, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal in 2026. Here's more on that.
The much talked about and controversial special intensive revision of the electoral polls, which resulted in protest in several parts of the country, including Parliament. In a latest development, the Election Commission is planning to roll out a nationwide SIR of electoral rolls. Ahead of the multi-states assembly elections next year in Assam, Kerala, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, the Election Commission held a crucial meeting with its state officials. While senior ECI officials gave a presentation on the Election Commission's SIR policy. Chief Electoral Officer of Bihar shared the state's experience in implementing the policy. Earlier, the top poll body had stated that after Bihar, SIR will be carried out in the entire country, which could be held later this year or early next year. Additionally, a top-level meeting took place yesterday to discuss about the progress of booth-level officers as SIR preparations have started in the state of West Bengal. Additional chief election officers addressed ADMs, OCS and other officials of the districts via video conference. They discussed about the progress of BLO appointment and continuous activities in different districts today from the office of West Bengal Chief Election Officer. The primary aim of the intensive revision is to weed out unauthorized migrants from neighboring countries by checking their birthplace. The move assumes significance in the wake of a crackdown in various states on illegal immigrants.
The first concrete step in signaling the diffusion of bilateral tension between the United States and India was a post that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, put up on social media platform Truth Social, announcing that Washington and New Delhi will resume negotiations to address the trade barriers between the two countries. Now, in response to Trump's message, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted saying that the trade teams of both the countries are all set to work together to finalize discussions at the earliest.
Donald Trump this morning put up a post on his social media platform Truth Social. stating that he was pleased to announce that India and the United States are continuing negotiations to address trade barriers between the two nations. The post also mentioned that Trump looked forward to meeting his good friend Prime Minister Modi, expressing certainty on there being no difficulty in coming to a successful conclusion for both the countries.
The personal chemistry between Prime Minister Narendra Modi that is there with US President Donald Trump, and I can tell you from sources at the highest level in White House that this is something which really mind, because he has been saying, if you see all along, both the leaders have not used anything which about each other at all, because he is somebody, if you know, in February when Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited US, the kind of red carpet that was given out by President Trump, that was manifested in this partnership.
This warm exchange of words is a respite from weeks of friction between the two nations over the imposition of tariffs issued by Trump against India's continued purchase of oil from Russia. Tariffs on Indian goods were doubled to 50% by America, which includes a 25% additional duty on India's purchase of Russian crude oil. The imposition, which India felt to be unfair, unjustified and unreasonable. Prime Minister Modi responded on the 10th of September, affirming the thaw in the bilateral ties by stating that India and the US are close friends, and both the countries have their trade teams working already to have these discussions finalized, and that this working together will help secure a brighter, more prosperous future for the people of both countries.
And that's all we could pack in this edition of 6:30 at 6. We'll be right back with breaking news at 6:30. Don't go anywhere.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%, I think.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies and we are marshalling the full power.
During an interview, American economist Richard Wolff called out the US administration for attacking India with tariffs and shooting itself in the foot by doing so. Wolff said that India is central for trade and that it will find other places to sell its exports if the US gets shut off. Wolff said that India is now, according to the United Nations, the largest country on earth. The United States telling India what to do is like a mouse hitting his fist to an elephant. India will find other places to sell its exports if the US is shut off to India, and the move will only strengthen the BRICS nations. But like Russia found another place to sell its energy, India will sell its exports no longer to the United States but to the rest of the BRICS. India has a long-standing relationship with the US since the Soviet era, and you are playing with a very different adversary. But for those with some humor, it will be the spectacle of the United States acting like it's the world's tough guy, as what it actually does is shoot itself in the foot. On August 27, Trump's 50% tariff imposition took effect on many Indian products. The tariffs are meant to punish New Delhi for buying Russian oil. Trump has raised pressure on India over the energy transactions, a key source of revenue for Moscow's war in Ukraine, as part of a campaign to end the conflict. New Delhi has criticized Washington's move as unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. PM Modi has repeatedly ensured his citizens that the tariffs will not heavily affect the people and that the administration will take care of the aftermath.
हमारे लिए
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला. I choose a world where we dream, and the limit is the sky, and this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a decor brand. Live consciously.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार. क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार. MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड.
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है.
Today, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions, we will never be allowed to hold him, talk to him, play with him, and watch him grow into the wonderful young man he was on the path to becoming.
Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph! Justice for Ralph!
Families in Minneapolis are mourning. Our Greater Annunciation Fellowship is mourning. Our entire city is united in grief, and at the same time,
A very good evening, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking, and I am Raksha Mishra with you. We are going to get you all the breaking developments from the country, the latest news, and more news from across the globe, viewers. We will start with the news coming in on the conversation, the latest conversation between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Italian Prime Minister Meloni, and we'll get you what was the conversation all about. But first, quick check of the headlines. Protesters in Nepal reached consensus to appoint the former Chief Justice of Nepal, Sushila Karki, as the interim head of government.
I think the biggest question on this will is, knowing my brother's relationship with his children and the love he had for his 2 kids, it's a shocker for anybody who knows them.
Kapur sister Mandya extends support to Karisma, says shocked that the brother would have left nothing for his children.
there's a will which we don't even know what's in the will. Like, where is all this from? Is it part of what dad had? Is it? We don't understand what it is. Again, we're in the dark.
Their sister says the will in question has never been shown to them, calls it forged. Big political scoop on SIR decision, more or less taken on the nationwide rollout of the revision EC Election Commission considering a pan-India rollout. Unprecedented show of strength by Hindu community in Karnataka's Mandya. Grand procession of Ganpati proceeds on the streets. France hit by block everything protests as new Prime Minister takes office. 200 arrested as protesters clash with police. Okay, we start with news coming in. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to Italian Prime Minister Meloni, and he has posted on social media about the conversation. He said that, and I quote, had an excellent conversation with Prime Minister Meloni. We reaffirmed our joint commitment to deepen India-Italy strategic partnership and shared interest in bringing an early end to the conflict in Ukraine. Thanked Prime Minister Meloni for Italy's proactive support for concluding a mutually beneficial India-EU trade agreement and promoting connectivity through IMEEC initiative. So this is the update we have right now, viewers. It's very, very important. Of course, India's role, remember, time and again we've seen, has been very, very important as far as the Ukraine ceasefire talks are concerned. So the two leaders discussed about peace in Ukraine and also, very importantly, the EU-India trade as well. So that's, of course, a very important development that is coming in right now. And we will continue to keep a close eye on more developments. We were shifting focus to some more breaking news. The 44th meeting of the Council of Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, RATS of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO, was held at in Kyrgyz Republic on the 10th of September. And it strongly condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. And while doing so, the Council of RATS SCO endorsed the statement on the condemnation of Pahalgam terror attack in Tianjin declaration signed during the SCO Council of Heads of State meeting that was held back just 10 days ago in Tianjin. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi had recently attended the Tianjin meeting, remember. So global leaders are uniting against terrorism. Chandrakala joins us live in the broadcast. For more, Chandrakala, well, we see there's more support coming in for India, and important fact being that there's more and more global leaders are joining in, uniting against this Pak-sponsored terror.
Yes, absolutely. After a successful visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to China, now we see that the 44th meeting of Council of Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, RATS SCO, has taken place at Kyrgyz Republic, which is very crucial, and it has strongly condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. Of course, the RATS Council is a very, very crucial platform when it comes to, uniting global leaders uniting together to condemn against terrorism. And of course, the clear mentioning of Pahalgam terror attack is a very important development. Of course, while doing so, the SCO RATS Council has also endorsed the particular declaration, Tianjin Declaration, which during the SCO Council of Heads of State meeting held on September 1 in Tianjin, which came out in strong condemnation of SCO, the Pahalgam terror attack. Of course, the fact that they have endorsed this particular Tianjin Declaration, which mentioned clearly the Pahalgam terror attack, where all the member states has signed the particular declaration. As we know, the defense minister earlier in June did not sign the declaration because the particular Pahalgam terror attack was not mentioned. And the fact that the RATS Council of Meeting was held today, particularly on this issue, and it was under the chairmanship of Kyrgyz Republic. It was headed by, the Indian side was headed by, of course, the deputy NSA. And he has come out with a very, very strong appeal to hold accountable the sponsors and organizers of this deadly Pahalgam terror attack. And of course, Deputy NSA has also stated clearly that that there is a need to shun double standards when it comes to terrorism and resolve to fight terrorism in all forms and manifestations. So yes, very important meeting today took place after a successful visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which saw a very, very strong condemnation coming from different countries. Of course, Pakistan was also a signee of the declaration to be, if I would like to mention here that Pakistan was